Okay. It has been a while. And I have to be kind of quiet because my family's actually upstairs still sleeping. It's their day to sleep in, and now I'm interrupt things. Just the microphone turned here. Can you guys hear me? Just let me know as long as you can hear me. I want to make sure I got everything up and running. You know how I am with these lives. I always seem to get something mixed up. Got a pretty good list of things to go over here for this live. It's been a while. The last live stream we did would have been January, live from the bank, where I blanked like a champ, actually. I didn't catch anything in January other than a short ice fishing trip up north. However, the winter has been good. Certainly very different from last winter. So the nice thing is that I actually did complete my winter campaign. The one I started at the beginning of, well, I guess I started it in December of 2021. And finally, actually was able to wrap everything up just like 2 weeks ago. Excuse me. I'm drinking a lot of coffee this morning. So yeah, just let me know you guys can hear me. I see more of you popping in right now. Yeah, as I said, the winter's been great. Finally wrapped up my winter campaign after 2 years of trying. That video is not done. And that's why I'm live right now and not releasing a video today. I know I'm a little early, but I have a really busy day today. So I had to try and pop on and get going here. Okay, good. Well, thanks. So yeah, the winter campaign video, I'm about a third of the way through the edit because I'm still trying to find some of the footage from last year because I filmed everything last year, and some of it was on. Basically, I had it on 4 different cameras. Some was on my phone, some was on the action camera, some was on the primary cameras. So I'm trying to make sure I have it all and I'm not missing anything because some of it would be loaded up to the Google Drive, and I have to try and find it in there. Gary and Kim McCoy. Sound is great. Good to hear. Gary McCoy. I know that name. We met once, didn't we? Pretty sure we did. Your name sounds familiar. Anyway, yeah, like I said, I'm grabbing up all the footage. I'm about a third of the way through the edit. So hopefully in the next few weeks, the winter campaign video will go live. So that's good news for me. Yes, Hardwood. I knew I recognized your name. Good to see you in there. Thanks for joining in. There is a second video that I'm partway through the edit, and it's a little bit different. We're going to talk about that a little bit more later on in the live, kind of before we wrap this up. Big Fish Angler Chad has popped in. Good to see you there. Stay out of trouble. Behave yourself. Might have to deal with you later this afternoon if you're joining for lunch later. Okay, so I'm going to go down my list now that I got a few of yous in there, and I'm going to get through some of these points. Like I said, the winter campaign video is coming. That's going to be a few weeks. Once I make sure I have all the footage together, the edit should go a little bit smoother, but I know I'm missing something from last winter, so that'll come together soon enough. The other video we'll talk about shortly. Okay, so for those of you who are, in fact, Canadian Carp Society members, you guys will have seen that the season has kind of started very early, much earlier than normal for a number of members. There's already been several 30-pounders caught. And when I say several, I mean like not just one, not just two. There's been a couple 30-pounders already caught this year, this early. So if you want more details on what's going on with that and how people are doing with this wicked early start to the big fish season, join up, become a member. It's really something that if you're into your carp fishing in Canada, there's really no reason not to be a member with all the content that's on there. And this weekend is the 2nd anniversary. So it's kind of a big deal. I spent like 20 minutes the other night getting messages from a brand new member that honestly is a friend of mine that I didn't think would join, but he did. So yeah, there's something in there for everybody. There's articles. We got tons of podcasts, tons of videos, lots of how-tos, things like that. It's it's an incredible resource, and celebrating its 2nd anniversary. So you never know when contests and things are going to pop up, giveaways, stuff like that. So now is an amazing time to join up and kind of reap the benefits of what we have going on over there. Browns are eating herring in the lake already. Okay. Do you mean like they're coming into the shallows? Like how we get that big mud line in the shallows? Is that what you're talking about, Chad? Because if that's the case, it's kind of exciting. I had a brown last spring, and that was the last brown I had. Good to know. All right. So the browns are cruising the shallows, or they're at least starting to cruise the shallows on the lake. So that's good news. Again, another thing for anybody who joins the CCS, we had our big first social back in October. For those of you who are members and did get to see episode 4 of CCS TV, all the footage from that social is there. I think I mentioned that once already, maybe back in December. There are more socials planned for 2023. So if one of your hesitations as far as joining goes is, the lack of socials due to the way the world was, those are going to be kicking off this year. We're going to have more details coming. Keep your eye on the newsletter if you're not already subscribed. Will does a great newsletter for the CCS. So any news about socials will be in that. Yes, Chad, you are antisocial. You're a miserable old bugger. That's where I get it from. Thanks. Since I did just mention Will about how he does the newsletter for the Carp Society, Will has some news as well. The return of the Peterborough Carping Guides. It's been a while. It's been away for a bit. But he's getting that back up and running for this year. I'm sure he's still got some details to work out with how he's doing everything. But if you want more information or you want to talk to Will about what's going on, tonight on Facebook, on the Peterborough Carping Guides page at 8 p.m., I guess that's 8 p.m. Eastern time, Will is going to be doing a live on Facebook. So if you have questions about the Peterborough Carping Guides, if you want to be able to utilize his services this season or understand better how he did things previously, while you wait for everything to get set up, he'll be there to answer questions. And, he's kind of good at taking shots. So if you want to throw a few shots at him about some of the videos he's done on my channel in the past, go nuts. He loves that sort of thing. But with that said, if you go watch the videos on his YouTube channel, they're a whole world different. It's a completely different kind of video. So if you want to see really good carp content that kind of has that story to go with it, a little bit less of a blog kind of style, pop over to Will's channel and check out his videos because you'll like them. I watch them. I tend to watch them with the volume down because I don't want to hear his voice, but I do watch his videos and I really like them. So yeah, he'll be live tonight at 8, and he's pissing himself laughing in the chat right now. I know it. But yeah, tonight at 8, Facebook, Peterborough Carping Guides. Get some information from Will, see how that's going to go. In other carper news with things that are going on, I'm probably sure that pretty much all of you carpers that watch me also have seen Prairie Banks. The first Prairie Banks that was released on the Team Carp YouTube channel, done by Paul Choka, that had Anthony Russell from the Saskatchewan Carp Kings and the Manitoba Machine himself, Ryan Ginter. That first film, we've all said it a number of times, it was probably the best carp fishing film to come out of Canada ever. And that caught a lot of attention. Certainly, one of the exciting things that we really haven't talked about much, if at all, here on my channel is that some connections through Paul with that film. I brought the guys from KWO over in the Netherlands over here to do a Canadian film. They did that last summer, and that was fun. It was a lot of fun. They started in Montreal, fishing with guys like Valley, really, really great carp angler over in Quebec. Fished their way down to Niagara. I was lucky enough to fish with them for a week with Kevin, and Dave came by. Paul was down here. We had a great time. And if you're a member of KWO, the films are on their channel. Their time here in Niagara was fantastic. They had some really great fish. They got to see some great scenery. So, an interesting thing about, doing that film with them and working with them, Paul was able to kind of keep a good friendship with them going. And through that connection, Prairie Banks 2, once completed, has gone on Sepography. You guys must know what Sepography is. It's that amazing site out of the UK done by Elliot Gray and his team. Amazing carp fishing films. Nothing like what you just see on YouTube or anywhere else. When you look at Sepography and the films that KWO do in their own platforms, it's like the best of the best. It really is amazing stuff. And Prairie Banks 2 was able to actually go on Sepography. So part 1 of the new Prairie Banks has been released. And if you have Sepography, or you're on the fence about whether or not to get it because there's no Canadian content, now there is. So Paul's film, first part of Paul's film for Prairie Banks 2, which is him and Anthony Russell, is on Sepography now. Part 2 should be coming sometime soon. So that is that's a major leap for Canadian carp fishing films, for sure, because nobody's making them the way Paul is. They're amazing. But it's going to throw a huge spotlight to the rest of the world about what's going on here. The more people that are seeing content come out of Canada, the more they're going to realize that we have an absolutely incredible world-class carp fishing fishery here. Do we have the big 70 pounders that you can go sit on a 2-acre lake for? No. We have 20 pounders that probably fight harder than those 70 pounders and can run 150 yards down a river, and you may never see it because they're just too damn strong. So we have a very unique fishery here, and the rest of the world is rapidly getting a bit of a tuition in what's going on because now we've got content going out to them. So that's really, really exciting. I was able to actually spend a day fishing with Paul last week, and all I had to show for it was a big rud. We blanked. Hopefully, if the plan goes well with the way the weather is, we'll be back out again for another opportunity tomorrow. So I'm hoping that we can get, well, I guess it's the last day of winter, and we're trying to get Paul a winter fish. So hopefully that'll happen. I'm going to try my best. We had great snow cover everything last week, and we blanked. So we couldn't get him his snow carp. So we'll try again. Next on the list, get a sip of my coffee. You know what? Before I go to the next things on the list, how are you guys doing? How is everybody? It's great to see a bunch of you in the chat. Will, Gary, even Chad, Dave. What are you guys up to? Have any of you been fishing at all? Have you guys been putting together your plans for the spring? What's going on? How is everybody today? Somehow I let that slide. I just jumped right into the list and I didn't even check in with you guys. Will is cleaning the chicken coop. Is that north of 7 code for you're in the bathroom? I don't get it. What does that mean? Dave, drilled Paul's mind for Niagara River spots for this season. You drilled his mind? I'm confused. Will, it's not a euphemism. You're actually in a chicken coop? That makes sense. You probably fit right in. It's kind of weird. Victor, good to see you there. I'm going to Ottawa for work tomorrow. I won't be fishing. That's a shame. Well, I guess it's for work. You don't really have the time to fish. But have a safe trip anyways. It's good to see you guys are doing well. Yeah, just, if you guys have stuff coming up that you're planning on, let us know. Get a chat going. Hopefully, with Monday being the first day of spring, hopefully winter will stop rearing its ugly head and we can all get out a lot sooner. All right, I think you mistyped there, Will. You picked up some egg layers, chickens, because they lay eggs, for free boilies for eggs and omelets. I think you meant to say free eggs for boilies and omelets. Axis of Metal, Paul F. here from CCS. Axis of Metal. Okay, that's different. Victor, waiting on some new gear, be out soon. Awesome. I actually have a few pieces of new gear I can show you in a few minutes. Some of it I'm kind of excited about. So thanks for letting me know about that, Victor, because I almost forgot. It's not actually, I hadn't written it down on my list yet, but I'll show you guys a couple of new things I got. Paul needs article ideas. All right, here's an article for you, Paul. Get out of the winter slumber and getting your mind wrapped around the idea of getting back out for the spring. The mental kind of process of getting out of your off season and back into wet banks. Yeah, good. Will, you corrected that. Nice. Will, Frito? Yeah, it's kind of like taco, but different. The old podcast name. Gotcha. Yeah. You know what? This is something I was just talking to Dave a few minutes ago, and this was something, Paul, that he brought up with, for those of us who are on the Carp Society site, Canadian Carp Society site, we're seeing what activity's happening. You're really not seeing much of it on any other social media. The nice thing is that all the fishing stuff is filtered directly into the CCS because that's the only thing people are posting about in there. So Dave was saying that like everybody's kind of in the same mindset right now where it's like winter's over, spring's about to start, fish are coming out, big fish are coming out. Let's just get our gear together and get ready. So with everybody kind of making this mental jump into the new season mode, it'd be interesting to get your take on that and what your observations have been going from the off season to the start of the new season. For me, I never stop. So I don't have an off season. I have a slow season. I fish less. Sometimes I actually fish for other species in the wintertime, but I don't stop. So I don't have that off time. So I'd like to get your perspective on that, because we do miss your articles being on there. Although you have been busy, and I've already passed my congratulations on to you about that. I hope the little one's doing great. Victor, not even close to being ready. Well, you will be soon enough. Maybe when you get back from Ottawa. Okay. Well, Victor mentioned new gear. So some of it's right here, some of it's behind me. So I'll go over this. This is kind of a two-part thing. I wanted to get my hands on these because I have that sick obsession with bobbins. We all know that. Oh, he's asking me a question already. Do I use Witchwood reels? I have 4 Witchwood Riots, 165S and 375S. They are amazing. They're great. They're workhorses. They take a beating, and they're the right price for the wallet. I have a Witchwood Dispatch on my spod rod. That's been great. I've had no issues. I also have the on my 10-footers, I have the Witchwood, what is it? The Extricator reels. For some reason, I'm drawing a blank. They're actually in the van, ready for tomorrow already. But yeah, I have, I don't know, like 8 different Witchwood reels. They're all fantastic. No complaints. Drags are great. They are top drag, not bait runners at all. But they're all great reels. I have one of my 75s, the oldest of the 75s, back from the one rod rule days, that the clicker's gone in the drag, but it still functions. So yeah, the way I punish equipment, the wear is there, but I've had, I don't know, I think the oldest Witchwood reel I have goes back to like 2015, 2016. And you know how much I fish, so you know how much punishment they get. And they're all still going. I have them in a box because I put different reels on my 12-footers. But they're going to go on different rods when I get another set. You didn't hear me say that. I'm not a fan of Okumas either. I have one Okuma, but it's on my son's rod because he uses it twice a year. Okay. You guys know I have an obsession with bobbins because I have, like, even just here, like I've got bobbins on my desk, not even in any kits or anything like that. But I've always wanted a set of these. These are the Corda Stowe bobbins. So I got 3 of these. Machine Gun, good to see you there. Okay, Victor's on his way out. Needs a new phone. Again, safe trip. Victor, good to see you in there. So yeah, I got a set of these Corda Stowe bobbins in green because I really wanted them. But there was also kind of a secondary reason for getting these that goes back to a product I got like a year and a half ago or something like that, and we talked about it in one of the lives. But I've not been able to get the footage that I want to film a proper review of the product, because it's just been a pain in the butt to try and do. And now I can't get this damn thing out of. I found a fork. Let me get this. Get out of there. Get out of there. I'm going to destroy that. Okay. I got it out. Hopefully it's in one piece. Okay, so we got the little quarter stow bobbin, right? We're going to take that bottom piece off. And that little isotope that goes in there. Now, you guys saw me get a set of these little isotopes for my blue Signet dumpy bobbins. Just put that back in there. You see it goes right in there. I got those little isotopes from Session Tackle. I think we all saw the Sepography review of how amazing these things were. And obviously Carpology, the Carpology review, them being a magazine, they put out product reviews as basically ads. That's what they get paid to do. That's how they make their money. Makes sense. The hate that the Session Tackle isotopes got on the comment section was unreal. But I wanted to try them for myself because I wanted to be able to see my bobbins at night. So I got a set for the blue dumpy bobbins, and we talked about them in one of the live streams. I tried fiddling with them, and I didn't quite know how it was going to work. When you just hold it up to the light like this, yeah, it does glow. You can kind of see it glowing a little bit there. But I wasn't quite sure how it was going to work on the bank, and I got a full season in of it. It's the UV light from the sun charges these things through the day, and then these will glow very faintly, but they will glow pretty much all night. Now, the darker the night and the darker the area that you're fishing at night, the better they show up, obviously. If you're fishing in kind of an urban area and you have a lot of light around you, you won't see the glow as well because you're going to see the bobbins and the rods anyways. So I have to say I was actually impressed beyond what I thought I would be using the Session Tackle bobbins or isotopes. You can go on the Session Tackle website, and they have all different ones for different sizes of bobbins, because bobbins are all standard width usually, but it's the length that's different. They also have these rings that you can put under your alarms. I just got them as part of a kit. But then they also have the little keychain light that goes with it. It's a little UV light, right? So you just kind of charge stuff up if it is dark, right? So let's say it's 3 o'clock in the morning and they've faded just a little bit too much, so it's hard to see them. Give them a little bit of a charge with the light, and then you'll see them actually glowing. And the bobbins are the same, right? Just a little bit of a charge. You can see how much that glows just with a quick flick of the UV light, but it's even better. Like, don't expect it to glow that bright all night, because that's just not practical. Even the fancy isotopes don't glow that bright at night, but it will hold a charge and it will glow quite a while. I've actually fished well into the night on an after work session. They get 2 hours in the sunlight, gets dark. I fish into the night till like midnight, come home, bring my gear in, get up for work the next morning. And at 6 o'clock in the morning, I look over on the shelf and the bobbins are still glowing. So for those that are looking for that alternative type of isotope, I can say, and I'm proving it by having bought more myself for another set of bobbins, check out the isotopes from Session Tackle, the Luna sticks and the Luna topes, the Luna rings, and a little UV light. It's to me, it's worth it. They work to the level they say they do, but like I said, I couldn't do a proper review because my cameras struggle in low light. I couldn't get footage to accurately show what I was trying to show, as far as how they are quite dim through the night. But if it's dark, and there's not a lot of light coming in from an outside source, you can see them really well. So yeah, just if you weren't sure about it, I can say that I find that they're worth it. I'm a steelheader, not a pro carp guy, but is this a float? No. These are they're bobbins. So these are little items that clip on to your line. So you've got your rod sitting on the rod rest. You got your bite alarm here. The rod's sitting on the rod rest. Your line's underneath your rod. This little bobbin. I forgot to turn my phone off. Little bobbin clips onto the line and holds tension down on the wheel of the alarm. So when a fish bites, it pulls the line up or lets it down, depending on the direction the fish moves. And that weight from that bobbin pulls the line through the alarm, creating the audible tone to indicate that there's a fish there. So a lot of us carp guys will fish right through the night. Sometimes you want to be able to see, especially when you're using 3 rods, which one of those lines goes, because we don't all get our headlamp on by the time we get our rods. And sometimes the takes are so hard, the alarms of all 3 rods will actually light up. So having one bobbin, or having your bobbins lit up, you can tell which one is higher or lower than the other two. Yeah, if you go back and check out some of the carp videos on the channel, you'll see how the bobbins work for sure. Few different ones. Some of the run compilations that we did, you'll really get to see that. Carp Run KS, you get to see the bobbins going nuts. It'll give you a better understanding of how they work. So yeah, I'm quite excited about those, the new bobbins. And as soon as I got those, I went on the website for Session Tackle and I ordered a set of the Luna sticks to go in them. You can even get those things for your, depending on the type of distance sticks you have for wrapping up. You can get, they have like the rings and sticks for certain types of those distance sticks, so that you can see those at night as well. So yeah, I would say Carpology may be slightly exaggerated how good they are, which kind of probably prompted all the negative comments. They don't glow super bright all through the night, but like you guys saw me just that quick charge on the rings, and you can see the one that really didn't get it is still that kind of dull color, and you can see that this one is actually still glowing. Even when I put it back here, you can see there's a noticeable difference between those 2 rings. All right, that's just with a quick shot of the UV light. So think about that sitting out all day, getting sunlight. It's going to hold that somewhat dim charge all through the night. I think they're worth it. They really are, to me. And you just leave them in your bobbins. It's good. If you're like me and you go out super early, so you're starting in the dark and they haven't had any sunlight to charge, that's why I got the little keychain light. I can charge them up myself, and for those 2 hours before sunrise, I'll have lighted bobbins. So yeah, Session Tackle website. You know what? If I was more prepared, I would have the link for you. Just bear with me a second. I'll get you guys the link. It's not in my bookmarks, but I have it saved. So here, and you guys looking for new isotopes for your bobbins, there's the link right there for Session Tackle store. And like they have kits that go to certain types of bobbins, or you just buy the isotopes according to the size of the inner space in your bobbins. And yeah, you'll be all set. Shipping's cheap. They ship to Canada just fine. I never had an issue with them. Okay, before we go on to the other things on the list, I do have a couple more new things I'll show you. Okay, I got 2 of these net heads, so we'll just show you one for now. But there is a reason we have these. So Paul signing off. All right, take care, Paul. So you guys can see just a kind of a pan net. It does have a rigid outer, but it's only a certain size, right? So I have 2 of these, and there's 2 reasons for it. Okay. One, throughout the year, you guys see me fish a lot of spots that I can get lots and lots and lots of smaller carp, say 10, 12 pounds and under. I hate using my big 42-inch carp nets for tiny fish. It's a lot of extra weight to carry. It's a lot of extra hassle to try and maneuver them around, especially when I'm using like a 9-foot rod and I've got this huge carp net for a 2-pound fish. It's not practical. So I got the pan nets for that, because I can probably put a 12-pound carp in there just fine. It'll still be comfortable and safe. It's the same mesh. And yeah, it's just more practical for my small fish outings. Secondary reason I got these is because Dave and I will have a bit of a series of challenges that we're going to do this year that go more towards the match fishing side of things. We're going to get out there with some whips and floats, and this is going to be the kind of the more practical net to use if we're getting into like some small carp, suckers, if we get into rudd. We're going to have some friendly competitions using match fishing style tactics. So keep you guys eyes open for that. There's going to be a whole series of those little challenges. Definitely a couple I'm going to try and do with Dave. Maybe I can convince Paul if he's got time. He's got a lot of trips planned. Kind of want to get Toronto James in on a little bit of match fishing for some reason. I think that could be fun. So yeah, these are, what are these ones? These are Dinsmore's nets. Can't remember if it was 18 or 22 inches, but really, really nice little nets. Really nice mesh, just like on my big carp nets, but much more practical for the intended use I have for them. Okay, something else. You guys, can you guys see what that says? I've been wanting a baiting pole set up for quite a while. So I did get the Signet 12-meter baiting pole, and that's probably upside down and it probably looks really awkward. Looks fine to me. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. I got the big spoon for it as well. I already have a big net float here, so I didn't get the net float. But I've got the 12-meter baiting pole, and I have the 1.6-meter extension. Just put this down here. I'm not going to extend it in here. I don't have the room. Well, I guess it's 13.6 meters when it's put together. I have a lot of spots. I can think of probably 6 spots for sure where that will be so valuable. for getting in under trees that overhang the bank. If you guys remember the video I did last summer, fishing that big park lake in that kind of like that little wooded area where I was fishing in the pockets of weeds, the place where Zane and I went and scouted out and he fell in the water. This will be key in that spot. Won't have to do any casting whatsoever. So I should be able to get bites faster. Should be able to get this under the trees, in the canopy, under the canopies a lot easier. So that spot and kind of a lot of areas around there are definitely why I wanted to get one of those. But also, I have some spots on the Big River where we wade out quite a ways to drop a rig. It's very time consuming. And while that doesn't necessarily stop the fish, like there's been times where I've walked out, dropped my rig, dropped a handful of bait, turned around, taken 3 steps, and the rod rips off while I'm still standing out there. When the fish are on, it's fine. But that will be a lot handier. I don't have to walk out all the way anymore. Because there's sometimes where, when it's August, September, and it's brutal hot, the last thing you'd want to do is put on a hot pair of waders just to wade out, drop your rig, and then go back and sit on the shore. You're just going to cook. So there's going to be times where that baiting pole is going to make all the difference in the world in those spots. So I don't have to be sitting in waders and stinking all day. Once I get using that this year, you'll see some videos with me putting that to use, and we'll see how that actually works. Machine Gun, you ever use your center pin reels while carp fishing? As a matter of fact, yes, we do. And not only that, but we actually have a couple of videos done of just that. Let me just bear with me a second here. Okay, one of the videos. We did 2 videos back to back. Dave and I, carp fishing on the center pin 2 years ago. So what I'll do here, I'm going to get a link. I'll drop the link in for you. This is the link for part 1. Okay, that's carp fishing on the center pin part 1. It was a good session. We caught. But part 2 is the one you really want to watch. Part 2 is where we took it to a different level, and so did the fish. We tried a few different baits. We had a lot more fun, and we literally couldn't keep the fish off of us. Now, at that point, when those videos came out, that was still, I believe that was still the 1 rod rule. Yeah, we were still on the 1 rod rule at that point. As of yet, with the multi-rod rule, I've not tried the center pin because I don't think I could handle multiple rods with center pins. Yeah, we can use 3 rods for carp fishing now as long as we follow the specific bait and baiting up rules. There's a lot to it, so definitely go over your regulations and get up to date on all the new changes. If you've got 3 rods together, you can't have them more than 6 feet apart. Oh, of course, work is texting me here. What do we got going on here? Sorry, it's kind of an important work call. I'm not going to take a call. I'm just going to answer the text real quick. The downside to having knowledge and being good at your job, when other people aren't sure, they message you on your day off. Okay, that's done. Sorry. Yeah, I don't think we could I don't think we could pull off multiple rods with center pins just because how crazy it would be. I need to turn that volume down. But with the new rule change, you can't have the rods more than 6 feet apart from each other. We have to use plant-based baits or plastics, like plastic corn, things like that. And I think there's some new updates, even with the with putting our like chum and our pre-bait out. That all has to be plant-based as well. So we can't like chop up worm and mix it all in and get it out there, because that's going to draw in other species. So follow the rules. But yeah, there's a lot we can do, and there's a great advantage to having 3 rods. Man, with the center pin. Yes, real corn is okay. It's a plant. It's plant-based, right? Anything plant-based seems to be allowed. I may have technically, no, I guess I didn't break that rule, because it was in this part 2 of the center pin fishing video. I actually catch on a piece of candy. Now that candy's not plant-based, it's gelatin-based. So I guess it's all synthetic. You might as well consider it plastic, I guess, for what it does for us. But yeah, you just want to make sure you're careful about the rules. I'll be honest with you. The conservation officers aren't always up to knowledge on all the rules relating to what we're doing either. So make sure you are, because you don't want one of them being unsure, you being unsure, and then potentially getting a fine that you might have to fight later because people didn't read the up-to-date rules. So just, if we do our part to be on the ball, that'll cause them to step up and make sure they are as well. Those guys, they can get really busy. They don't always have time to see the newest update, just like any of us would, right? Were we in their shoes, it could be the same problem. So just make sure you're up to date on the rules. Yeah, we were using 1 rod, Dave. I couldn't remember if we went down to 1 rod to do that, because it would be insane with multiple center pins, or if it was still during the 1 rod rule. But yeah, it was the October before the rule change. So yeah, the baiting pole, I'm really excited to use. The nets I'm looking forward to using, because they're going to be far more practical than what I have been doing. And yeah, these bobbins and the session tackle isotopes, they're kind of the big newest things that I've got. The only other thing that I've done, actually, it's right here. I got a little tube here, and this is from the American Carp Society. Why do I have this, you may ask? It's because I also joined the American Carp Society. Those guys are doing a lot of great things in the States. They have big tournaments. They have a pretty big following of carp anglers. They all fish very different waters to us. I just wanted to be able to get in on that community, see what they're doing, and interact with some of the American anglers. I've said it many times, I'm scared to death to go to the States because it's the States, but there are a lot of good people down there catching carp. So just to expand my connections, learn a little bit more about what's going on here in North America as far as carp fishing goes, I joined up. It wasn't that expensive. I think it was like $50 for the year, because we're Canadian and everything has to be more difficult for Canadians. Their welcome package isn't as complete for Canadians as it is for Americans, because there's usually bait included. But we do get some neat stuff here. So we'll just open this up in the tube. So first off, nice American Carp Society. Well, I guess you guys would call it a beanie. Us here in Canada call it a toque. It's a very nice one. It's actually really nice, really comfortable. Very simple patch. Little microfiber cloth for cleaning your glasses or camera lenses. guess it goes that way. A bunch of stickers, really cool stickers. I actually really like these stickers. They're nice heavy duty ones as well. Then a little bit of, oh, there's another sticker. Sorry. A little bit of terminal tackle, some swivels. They have their own branded tackle that they have added to their store. This looks like a running rig system that I've actually been gathering components for because I want to do some running rigs this year and do a little video on it about how to use this stuff. Some pop-up corn. And then this is some boosted pop-up corn, different colors in there. So even though we don't get the bait package, we still got a pretty good welcome package to join the American Carp Society. So yeah, I wanted to see what it was all about, check it out, kind of get involved with the community a little bit just to see, you know, what anglers over there are maybe fishing some of the same waters from the other side. You know, I'm in a border city and I'm fishing a river that you go to the other side of it, it's another country. So there might be a few anglers that I can look across the bank, across the river and see them on the opposite bank. We're fishing the same water from two different countries. It could be really interesting to interact with those guys. So we'll see how that goes. Do you guys ever keep small carp for a meal? I don't. 99% of the Canadian Carp Society members don't. Some do. That's, you know, if people eat them, that's their thing. I would ask that they stick to just the small ones and don't eat the big breeding trophy fish. But I know for a lot of cultures, carp is an important food. Everybody in the Canadian Carp Society, like I said, 99.9% are all about catch and release. If you eat carp, that's your business. Just keep it your business. Everybody in that site wants to focus on catch and release to see the fish grow, get bigger. Nobody will ever knock you for eating carp, but you know, we don't want to see photos of filleted carp showing up on the site. That's just how it is. We want to see these fish live and grow. If you eat them, eat them. That's your business. Please just don't eat the big ones. So yeah, your parents used to make a nice carp stew. That's great. That's great. I've never tried it myself. I really don't eat fish anymore, like almost ever. I might go for fish and chips once in a blue moon, but yeah, I'm entirely catch and release nowadays. Well, I guess in January, I kept 1 or 2 perch for Chad, who I was fishing with, because he did want to take some home. So I didn't keep it for me. I kept it for someone else. But yeah, it's all about the catch and release for me. Okay, so we got a few more items to go back to the list for. Victor mentioned new gear, so I couldn't help but show it. How many of you guys or girls or other have been on the channel and saw the recent upload of the 12 months of carp mega film? I know there's a lot of people that now follow the channel that never saw the 12 months of carp as we were releasing it. So I've always kind of pictured it as one big film. That was the way it was intended to be put together, and it just wasn't practical. Recently, I put a lot of time. Like, I think I spent like 2 full weekends of my days off just getting all the files downloaded into the computer from what I could salvage. All the original footage is gone. All the original videos are gone. I had to go into YouTube and re-download from there, get it all downloaded into the computer, move it all onto a hard drive, then upload it all into a program, do a little bit of editing to kind of put it all together. Exporting that out of the program, I think, took like 30 something hours or 40 something hours just to get it out of the program. then still had to upload it to YouTube. Oh man, it was a nightmare of work trying to get all that done. But finally we have a 16.5-hour full film, mega film of the 12 months of carp. And the feedback that I saw from that, with comments coming in, messages coming in from people who saw the original series as it came out, but maybe somehow missed an episode along the way, going back and watching it and loving it. People who have not seen it at all because they joined, like they subscribed to the channel kind of late in the game, and it was after all that was released. I'm somebody that when I subscribe to a channel, I try to go back and watch a lot of the old content of how they got to where they are. But a lot of people don't do that. So with the amount of uploads we have, there's a lot of content that people just don't go back and have no idea we ever did. So it was a lot of stress, but a lot of fun being able to finally bring that out as one big film. And I'm really grateful to all of you who reached out with comments and messages about how much you enjoyed it. I don't know if there's another film out there. Like, is there another carp fishing video out there that's 16.5 hours long? I don't think so. If there is, it's maybe like a long live stream or something like that. But yeah, it was just something I'm really proud of, the fact that we could finally put together as one big film. So for those of you who have seen it and reached out, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If you haven't seen it, and maybe you need to split it up over a couple of viewings to get through the whole thing, go back and watch it. Because when I was cutting it back together and putting it together as the big film, there were so many moments that I had completely forgot about. This was 2017 when we did this, and like there were so many moments between Goldie and I that I had completely forgot happened. And I just sat here laughing. I was smiling through the whole thing, laughing my butt off. One that comes to mind was the June episode where he handed me a baiting pole, and I slipped into the Christian Bale voice and started calling myself Bait Man. Like, I'm Bait Man. And it just became a running gag through that whole video where I started talking like Bait Man and then started referring to him as my sidekick, Bob. And I laughed my butt off. I rewatched that whole episode as I was cutting it, and I was just like, oh my God, this is gold. This is a memory that I wish I still had sitting in here, but I had completely forgot about it. So to be able to go back and revisit that was a good time. It really, really was enjoyable. And from what I'm gathering with the comments and the messages, some of you are having those same moments where you completely forgot about something that happened, or like I said, you missed a segment. Going back and seeing that stuff brings back good memories. It's really, really good. Speaking of new uploads, who saw the first episode of our new series, The Breakdown? Dave and I have started a new series where we are going to tackle new spots that we've never fished, or spots that we haven't fished in a long time, or maybe a spot that one person fishes but the other doesn't, so that we can give you two different angler perspectives on the same spot of how to approach it, and we can see who's successful in the end. So this series kind of came out of necessity of us not being able to fish together, but still wanting to be able to make content together. I think the whole idea was originally Dave's, and it was a great idea, and we just kept kind of shelving it. And then finally he just messaged me one day and he's like, I'm going out to start filming this. And I was like, oh, okay. So he went out and filmed his part, gave me no details. I knew nothing about what had happened, just that he had been out. 10 days later, I went out, filmed my segment, did my approach, and then the video came to be what it is. I've looked at some of the feedback, which has been fantastic. And there's some good ideas that have been thrown our way about what we can add into that to make it even better. So we're going to implement some of those ideas. Now that we're getting into spring, the weather should start to stabilize. Some of those spots that we have in mind, I think we have, I don't know, between 5 and 8 spots, just right off the top of my head, that we want to do one of these breakdown episodes at. So, as of right now, the primary focus is carp fishing, but how to approach these new spots kind of in a carp fishing manner. It doesn't mean we're going to restrict it to carp. Down the road, this could be a trout thing as well, or maybe other species. But for right now, just because kind of carp is what we do predominantly, that's kind of the way it's going to go. But there's definitely a few other spots that I've also never fished trout that I would really like to take this approach on. So episode 2, we should start that filming soon. I think the one location that I want to do episode 2, I was fishing there, I think the 3rd week of April last year. So it could be very soon when we get out to do that next episode of the breakdown. So if you haven't seen it, watch it, throw some feedback our way. Let us know what you liked, what you'd want to see in another episode. We're really taking feedback on this one because we want that series to continue, because I think it's a great idea. I really do. And I really, really enjoyed doing it. You had no idea about the breakdown. You can watch that after this. It's on the channel. You'll love it. We need to get together, man. I'm in Hamilton, Stony Creek area. Well, I never go that way, almost never. How we would line up a time to fish together, I really don't know. Like I said, I wanted to be fishing today, but I have a lunch to go to in just over an hour. So schedule-wise, trying to fish with me is not easy. But the likelihood that we probably run into each other on the bank sometime, that's probably more realistic. So if you bump into me on the bank, make sure you let me know who you are. Tyler, good to see you there. You've been hiding. You've been watching the whole time, haven't you? Looking forward to the rest of the series. Good. You never know, Tyler. You might get in on one of those because you have a different you have a very relaxed approach to the way you kind of do everything. So that would be very neat. Seeing you fish at the social last year, you were just mellow, just casting out mellow, dropping it in close, and yeah, you did well. You did have one of the 3 20-pounders that were caught. So yeah, good stuff. I'm still getting through that bag of oats, by the way, Tyler. So still, again, thank you for those. Okay, how are we doing? We're just doing it over an hour. I've got a little bit of time left before I have to fly, because I have, like I said, I have lunch to go to today. What else is on my list? My list ends there because I ran out of time to write my list. But I know there was more things that I wanted to mention. Oh, yes. Okay. This will be kind of like the ending note before I wrap this up. This is an opportunity for you to be involved with a video right here on this channel. I've already reached out to a number of people. Okay. Oh, Machine Gun's got to take off. Good to see you there. Thanks for tuning in. Dave Pendlebury's kind of throwing in the he's giving it away already. Okay, the number 300 is very important right now. The channel has reached over 300 uploads at this point. Kind of want to celebrate a little bit. So there's an opportunity here for you to actually be involved with a video that I'm actually working on. I've reached out to a number of contributors who have helped with the videos over the years, some of the followers that could be watching right now, and friends of mine that have kind of been around for a long time that have been in the videos as well. Having just gone past 300 uploads to the channel, I kind of wanted to put together a video of people's favorite Anglerphiles moments. The little video clips that some people have sent me are awesome. They're absolutely awesome. And they're moments that I didn't think people would bring up. So I'm going to give you this opportunity. The best way would be to go on the Facebook page and send a message, or on our Instagram account and send a message. Let us know what your favorite Anglerphiles moment out of our whole library has been. If you want to do a little 30-second video clip, send it to either the messenger, Facebook message, or Instagram message, so I can see that and download it from there. Probably Facebook message would be easiest. But yeah, you can, if you guys want to be in the episode, send us a little 30-second clip of you telling us what your favorite Anglerphiles moment is, and from what video. That'll give you an opportunity to get your face right there up on an Anglerphiles episode. The other thing you can do, if you don't want to do a little video clip, right in the comments below this video, just type it out. After this video is done, go in the comments, type out what you think your favorite Anglerphiles moment over all of our videos has been, and let us know. And I will try to mention as many of those as possible. The video is already going longer than I intended it to be, but I want to make sure everybody has that chance to get their voice out there, and let us know and kind of celebrate along with us. Now, when I started this project to put this video together, I thought, 300 uploads, that's pretty damn cool. Really proud of that. Really excited about that. But next year is another really big milestone. So 2024 will actually be the 10-year anniversary of the channel. So July of next year. So we're if I had remembered that ahead of time, we probably would have done this kind of thing next year. But for the time being, we're going to continue with this. Go on the Facebook group. Shoot me a message if you want to add a little video clip of you. Just pick up your phone, telling us what your favorite Anglerphiles moment was, or you can do it in the comments, below this video, and we'll try and get that added into the final edit of the video. For next year, I would love some suggestions on how to celebrate the 10-year anniversary, because I have no idea what to do. I've been given a few suggestions so far. I don't know how I'm going to pull those off, but I'm open to suggestions. So if you guys have any ideas on how to celebrate next year's 10-year anniversary, you have between now and then to come up with a thought. So yeah, if you want to get involved with this new video update or upload, as far as our 300 uploads go, those are the ways you can help. But I'm looking forward to putting the rest of that together. Some of it's not even in English. I have to find a way to translate it. It's just hilarious. But the clips that people have sent me so far, I absolutely love. And I'm still waiting on a few others. So while I'm waiting for those to finish, here's your opportunity to get involved as well. That wraps up my list. That wraps up the new gear that I got. And it's great to see everybody who was in the chat today. All of you, I was really happy. Will and Gary, Chad, Dave, Victor, Paul. Who else popped in there? Machine Gun had lots to say in there. That's great. It was just great to be able to chat with all of you. Again, you have an opportunity to get involved in one of the upcoming uploads. We have that plus the winter campaign video coming. I'm working really hard on that one because it's 2 winters worth of sessions and clips, and I can't just show you all the clips of the days I showed up and the spot was frozen, because that would just get boring. But I'm going to do my best to try and make it interesting. So just just go with the knowledge that it ended well. It ended very well. So that's coming. Again, this weekend, the second anniversary of the Canadian Carp Society. If you're not a member, join. There is something on that site that is for you, that you will appreciate. The contests, the live streams, the podcasts, the videos, the articles. It's amazing. There's a reason I'm involved. It's because it's awesome. So check that out. Again, just to recap, Peterborough Carping Guides starting back up for 2023. Facebook, 8 p.m., the Peterborough Carping Guides Facebook page. Live stream with Will for all your questions, comments, feedback, all that. Check that out as well. And if you're not a member of Sapography, I don't know why. Yeah, it's a paid subscription-based service, but you're not going to find a bigger library of amazing carp fishing content from Europe than you are on Sapography or KWO. But now there's Canadian content on there thanks to Paul from Team Carp. So if you watch the first Prairie Banks and you haven't seen the second installment a year later, that's now on Sapography. So go check that out. Again, any ideas for the breakdown, please watch the new breakdown series. Give us your feedback. That is an evolving series that Dave and I want to really work hard on. So if you guys have ideas to make that better, throw it our way. We want to hear it. If you haven't seen it yet, go back on the channel and check it out this afternoon. Part 1 is up there. I really enjoyed it. Part 2 will be even better. I need to wrap this up because I need to go. And thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for participating. Really appreciate it. Do remember that we do have a Patreon. If you guys want to support the channel, as some of the members do, you can go on Patreon and help us out that way. That money goes towards new cameras, new equipment. I am upgrading cameras this year. That's expensive. If you want to help out with that, like some do, please feel free. Just throw the link right in there for you as well. For any of you who are interested, for those that already do, again, thank you so much for that support. It's just that other level of support that I never expected, but I'm incredibly grateful for. It does help. Break down the whirlpool carping. Well, we've already fished down there many times, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to give the secrets of that away. But there has been a lot of talk about more whirlpool fishing for carp. I know I want to do one for my channel, but I have also been talking about that with Paul from Team Carp. So that could happen in more than one way this year. So for now, we're going to just cut this short. New videos coming down the line very soon. Hoping to do some more filming, potentially as early as Monday, to get you even more content. So keep watching the channel. Keep supporting the way you do. Again, it's incredibly appreciated. Yeah, love to hear from you as far as, the new 300 upload project. I'd love to see what everybody's favorite moment is. So if you have the time and you want to participate with that, really, really would love to see it. Thank you all for tuning in. I got to get going so I don't get yelled at. We'll talk to you later.